Are you in the market for a security system? Are you thinking about DIYing your own security system? Or you're on the fence of paying somebody else to do it for you? Well, today is your lucky day, because in today's episode, I'm gonna be showing you everything there needs to be known about security system installs. From, is it better to get a Wi-Fi system, a wire system, how to run the wires in your attic, how to run the feed to a remote monitor. Should you get a DVR, an IP camera? What is the difference? Well, in today's episode, not only will I be answering those questions for you, I'm gonna be installing my own system today. I'm gonna be installing an ONWOTE security system in my house. And while I install it, I'm gonna be showing you from start to finish how to do it yourself. All right, first things first. So, is Wi-Fi better than wired, or wired better than Wi-Fi? So let's go ahead and talk about the cons and pros of each one. So you're looking for a system and you want to get a Wi-Fi because you don't have to run any wires in the attic. Well, pro number one, no wires required, right? Pro number two, very easy to install. Now let's talk about the cons. A lot of you guys don't realize, but even with a Wi-Fi system, you still need wires. How are you going to power your camera? You're going to have an outlet nearby that camera, or you're going to have to get a battery operated one. Another con for a Wi-Fi system is the connection. You're going to have a strong Wi-Fi connection in your house. If you think you're going to be using the built-in Wi-Fi feature on your router with a camera that's 100 feet away through many walls and then a ceiling, and thinking that you're going to get good connection, it's just not going to happen. Yes, you can get an extender, but they're not the same. You're going to have issues one way or another. And that is the reason why I'm going with a wire system. Pro number one with a wire system is I don't need to rely on my Wi-Fi to actually get good connection with my cameras. My cameras are going to be connected directly to a DVR inside my house that's going to be powering them. So I can actually have 24/7 live feed on my monitor. I can see everything that's going on 24/7, and I don't have to worry about any batteries running out. Another pro with a wire system is I don't have to worry about any hackers hacking into my stuff. If you don't know, there are Wi-Fi blockers out there that you can easily buy on the internet, and somebody can just get close to your camera with one of those, and they can actually block the signal from getting to your Wi-Fi network. Yes, just like that. It's like an antenna, and they can just get close by to your system, and your cameras are worthless. Con number one for a wire system is, yes, you're gonna have to run cables to each individual camera. But this is a one-time deal. Once you run the cables, you can actually use those same cables in the future if you decide to upgrade your system. Yes, you're gonna have to get in your attic. Yes, you're gonna have to get dirty. Yes, you may have to crawl on your belly. But you know what? It's a one-time deal, and once it's done, it's a done deal. Now that you know the differences between the two types of systems, let's go ahead and get started with the installation. First things first, and that is, where are you gonna be running your wires to? A wire system usually comes with a DVR. A DVR is a digital video recorder where all the cables that are plugged into your cameras are gonna come into one location. So my recommendation for you is to get in your attic and see what's the easiest way, most accessible area that you can run all your wires to. If I have to crawl on my belly to run the wires down the wall, well, guess what? You're gonna be paying 2, 3, 4, 5 times higher than if I'm just able to get to it very easily and run the wires down the wall. So in today's episode, I'm running my wires to my existing system. So this is my networking station right here, work in progress. All my stuff is in my laundry room, very easily accessible through the attic. And this, I'm gonna be replacing an existing system. And that brings us to what type of system to get. Now the existing system that I have, as you can see, it looks like crap, and it only lasted a few years. I did not really see a difference in the image on the monitor. But the main difference is gonna come if you actually wanna enlarge the picture. If you wanna download a picture, you wanna see somebody's face, or you wanna see a license plate, I can tell you the higher the resolution, like this ONWOTE 4K system, it's going to give you a more detail so that way you can actually see from farther away. So the image on the monitor is going to be maybe a little more clear, but I can tell you if you actually download the image and you want to enlarge, it's going to give you a better quality image that you're going to be able to see a lot of detail. So my recommendation for you is do not always go with brand name. Go with what the reviews say and go what the system claims it's going to do. Now this one right here is a 4K system. They also have 1080p, they have 2K, they have all kinds of different choices, but the choice is yours at the end of the day, how much money you want to spend. ONWOTE provided the system, and this is the reason why I'm installing this in my house, because I trust this brand more than this brand name over here that only lasted a few years, and I paid just as much for that system as this system right here costs. You want to install your cameras in areas where you want to actually see. So this is my side gate right here. So I got 2 cameras up there. I think the new system, I'm just gonna put 1 camera right here because these cameras actually have a wider view angle than my old system, 125 degrees. That's one of the benefits of this ONWOTE system. The next camera is gonna go right here. That's gonna be facing my driveway. And also I wanna see what's going on in my front door. So I don't know if I'm gonna be running a camera up there or not. I'm still deciding that. And the other cameras are gonna be putting up here. So technically I'm just gonna be replacing the old cameras that I have with the new cameras, plus I'm gonna be installing maybe a few more cameras. When deciding where to place your cameras, you gotta make sure the view angle of your cameras. You wanna make sure they overlap a little bit because you do not want to have any blind spots. This ONWOTE system right here comes with everything that you need in order to get your system installed. It has the cameras. The one that I chose right here, it has 6 cameras, which is 2 more cameras than the existing system that I have in my house. It has a DVR right here. This is where all your cables are gonna be connected to. This right here has a 2 terabyte hard drive that will store all the footage from your cameras. Now this right here, you can record 24/7 if you wanted to, or you can set it up to record events. Now this system right here has an AI feature, meaning that it can recognize people and it can recognize vehicles. So it can also save you storage space. So if you wanted to just record anytime that it detects motion from people or vehicles, well, this will record it for you. It also has all the cabling that you need. This is a PoE, Power over Ethernet system, and this DVR will power your cameras. Not only will the cable transfer data, it will also transfer power. So that way you can only run 1 cable per camera. Now these are only 60 feet, and this is gonna be enough for a small installation if you have a smaller house. Now, if you have a long run, well, at that point, you got 2 choices. Choice number 1 is gonna be using the provided cable that ONWOTE system comes with, which is 60 feet long. Or do like I did over here. I bought this cable in bulk, 1,000 feet, and I'm gonna be terminating my own cables. So that way I have enough for all my runs and I don't waste any cable. The reason that I went with my own cable is because this is a higher quality cable. This is SDP, shielded twisted pair. It is CAC6. It is just in general, it's also CMR, which has a thicker PVC sheathing around the wires. So if I ever get any rats in my attic that try to chew the cable, this is gonna be a lot harder to chew. Now that you know what system to get, what resolution type to get, where to place your cameras, where to run your cables, what type of cable to get. Now let's go ahead and get started with the installation. So I got my wire set up right here on a ladder, so that way I can easily pull it. But before we get started, you gotta make sure that the wire that you got in the mail is actually exactly what you order. Now this is a CAC6 wire. What makes it CAC6 is because it has a plastic thing in the middle to separate the twisted pairs. This right here, right there is what makes it CAC6. Now this is a shielded wire, meaning it is wrapped in foil, just like this. Why is that important? Well, I'm gonna be running my wire in the attic where I have, wires, regular electrical wires running across everywhere. If this wire touches an electrical wire, what usually is gonna happen is you're gonna get some electromagnetic interference. And that's gonna manifest in, let's say when you click your camera, it's gonna take a little longer to buffer. Maybe you wanna download a video, it's just gonna take a little longer, it's not gonna be responsive. A lot of the times those issues are due to crosstalk, which is electromagnetic interference. Now this foil right here wrapping around the wires is gonna minimize that issue, and that's the main reason why the only wire that I use is shielded Cat 6. Now that I got the cable taped, all I gotta do is get in my attic and pull it. All right guys, so now I gotta get in the attic, and one of the things that I do anytime I get in the attic is I get this disposable coveralls. So I gotta tape my wrist right here because I do not want any insulation getting on my clothes, getting on my skin. So I also tape my boots right here, and this right here is gonna go in the trash once I get done. So this is one of the tips that I give everybody, especially if you're gonna go in the attic. All right guys, so here's the plan. These are the two cables that are going to those far cameras out there. Now you can do this job yourself, but it's gonna take several trips going, back and forth going outside. And if you wanna save some time, I highly recommend you to get somebody to help you out. And that's exactly what I did. I got my helper outside waiting for me to give him a call so I can tug on this wire, and he can tell me which one is the one that I actually need to pull. But Handyman, I have a new installation. I don't have existing wires in the attic like you do. I'm also going to be showing you how to run a brand new wire with minimal effort. So hand tight, and I'll show you in just a few minutes. Yes, you ready? All right, so I don't know which wire is the one that I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling, and you tell me once I start pulling the right one. Nothing?
Nothing yet.
All right, so that's not it then.
Yep, you got it now.
That's the one? That's the one? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep pulling. So I have to go over there and pull it by hand all the way from where you're at. All right, so I got my wire to where I need it to be. Now, I'm gonna give me some slack in here to slide down the wall. So that is done. I got all the cables strung in the attic. Now the next step is to terminate the cables and check the cameras. As you can see, I got plenty of slack in case I mess up and I need to cut the cables back. Yeah, I'll connect this one here and see what it looks like. Next step is going to be pulling the wires down the wall. So if you don't have a hole in the wall, then you're going to have to make a hole in the wall. Find 2 studs and then drill a hole through the middle. As you can see, the hole is already up there because I've done this before for a prior installation. And the easiest way to find where to drill through the attic is have somebody downstairs and then get yourself in the attic and then have that person get a broom and knock on the ceiling just a few taps, so that way you can feel it and you can hear it in the attic, so you know exactly which top plate it is, the one that you need to drill through to run the wires down the wall. Awesome. Just go ahead and pull them, like give me plenty of slack. All right, that's good. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and test the system. It is always a good idea, especially if you're doing this for a living and you're doing this job for somebody else, to plug everything in before you actually do any work. Now, if you're doing this for yourself, it's no big deal like I am doing right now. But when you're working for somebody else, if you go through all the hassle of crawling into the attic, running all the wires, and then one of the cameras don't work, guess what's gonna happen? The customer is going to blame you, and they're not gonna want to pay you, even though it's not your fault. It's their fault because they most likely are the ones who purchased the system. Ask me how I know that. So anytime I do a security job, security camera installation like this, I always take everything out of the box before I move a muscle. And if a camera is not working, I tell the customer before I do anything. I do the installation, I get paid in full, and I charge them to come back to install the camera that was not working. When plugging the cameras in, keep in mind it can take up to 5 minutes to get an image. I don't know why that is. I'm not really sure if it's this system in particular or all of them. But yeah, it can take easily up to 5 minutes. You can tell if your camera has power because there's going to be an LED light where you plug it in. If it lights up, you know it has power. Just be patient, 5 minutes or so, and you will get an image. Handyman, you're not supposed to know how to do networking. You're only supposed to be changing toilets and faucets and maybe picking up the trash and cleaning up. Anyways, so while I'm doing this, let me talk about some of the features of this system that I like the most, and that is the AI people and vehicle recognition. So to save up hard drive space, the system can automatically detect people or vehicles, so that way it will record an event on the footage. So if you're ever trying to find something specifically, you don't have to like watch the entire video. It will actually show it on the screen when that event happened. It will tell you if it was a person, a vehicle. It will send you an email. It has so many features that I don't even know where to start. So my recommendation is to try it out, and it will do a lot more than you think you need it to start with. So here I'm terminating the wire outside in front of my house, and it's always good to test your wires. This is a client tester. As you can see, I'm testing the line, and if all the lights light up evenly like you see on the screen, you terminated the plug the right way. If you get a red light, or when you press a button the lights are like flickering fast like that, that means your connection is not good and you need to double check your plug. Link in the description for all the tools that I used in this installation, and also for those of you who want the longer version of this video, you can join my Patreon and I'll have a video posted there showing a lot more details and all that good stuff. Alright guys, so for those of you wondering, how do you run new cables through your attic? So the existing installation that you just saw is using pre-existing wires in the attic to actually run my new wiring. But what about if this is a new installation? Well, at that point, the easiest way that I found to actually run wires through the attic is by using something like this. I call them fish rods, fiberglass rods. It's very similar to a fish tape, but a lot more efficient. Let me show you how it works. So right here in front of my house, I'm gonna be running a new camera. So the camera is gonna be up here pointing towards the street so I can see whoever comes to my front door. And one thing that I didn't mention about this ONWOTE camera is that it has a microphone in it, so you can actually listen and talk to people through the camera. The first step is gonna be making a hole. Make sure the hole that you make in the attic, somehow you're gonna be able to access through the attic. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and see what the camera is gonna look like up there. Perfect. Next step, get your fish rod out. This one happens to be 21 feet long, and the way they work is you screw them together to whatever length that you need. Stick it through the hole. Okay, it's over there, if you guys can see it. Let me crawl over there. It's right here. Look at that, guys. Freaking master handyman right here. Look at that, right there. Just to give you a perspective, I don't know if you can see on the camera, that rod saved me from belly crawling all the way down there. Yes, I would have had to get on my belly for that one. So, and this is how I run wires through the attic and through the walls. Alright, I should be able to grab that from the bottom. All right, so
Plus, the thing that's good is go back, like what my cameras do, and since they aren't hardwired. Like I'll have one that's like offline, and then it'll come back on. It's like a disaster.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Like the one they'll go on and go off.
It loses connection.
Yeah, it's a disaster because they're not hardwired like that, where you're getting the data.
So one of the things I like about this one, it has digital zoom. So let's say I want to see what my neighbor's doing up there. That's too close, but let's say, look.
Oh yeah. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That thing's cool. I gotta do that on my house.
So that concludes the installation of this ONWOTE camera security system. And so now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the most frequently asked questions for this type of installation. So number one is specifically for this ONWOTE. How do you view your footage? So let's say you want to look at your cameras and you're not home. Well, there are several ways you can actually view your footage. First one is through an app. It's called OnGuard. You download it on your phone and create an account. Link your DVR to this app, and then you can view your cameras from anywhere that you have internet access through your phone. Now, let's say you don't want to use your phone. Well, the next way you can actually view your cameras is going to be through your computer. You can also download an app for your computer
It's the same thing on guard, and you can view your cameras through your computer. Now, let's say you don't want to download an app. Maybe you are at somebody's computer, or you're using a public computer. Well, at that point, you can go to the website that you see on the screen, create an account, link your DVR to this website, and just by using a browser, you can also view your cameras. Now, let's say you don't want to create an account anywhere, you are high speed, and you know everything in this world, you're a savage. So, well, check this out. This camera system, you can set it up with an FTP server. I believe, and you can actually view your cameras just by typing an IP address on the browser and logging directly into your system. That is not unique to this security system. That's how all security systems, most of them, work. So, question number two is, do you need a membership to access all the apps for this ONWOTE system? And the answer is no, you do not need an app to actually run the system. This is one of the things that I like about the system specifically is I have a digital video recorder in my house. All the footage gets downloaded directly to the hard drives on that DVR. So I don't have to upload my stuff to the cloud if I don't want to. So all my stuff is stored locally and I do not need to pay anybody to access my system. Question number three, and this is going to be the most, asked question out there on the internet, and that is how can you view your cameras through a monitor that is not right next to the DVR. If you didn't know, you can only run your HDMI cable for so long. I'm not really sure the distance. I think it's, don't quote me on it, maybe 15 feet, 20 feet max. And I can tell you when you start running your wires up the wall through the attic, you're going to need a lot more than 15, 20 feet. So at that point, what you're going to need is an adapter like this. What you see on the screen, it's an Ethernet adapter, so it goes from Ethernet to HDMI. So you connect your DVR to this adapter, and then from here you run a cable, Cat 5, Cat 6, whatever you want to use, all the way to where the monitor is going to be in your house, an office, a kitchen, a living room, a bathroom. It doesn't really matter. Now, once you have your cable set up there, then the other side of the adapter, you're going to connect it to this Ethernet cable, and then from there, you're going to run your HDMI cable to your monitor. And that is how you can actually view your cameras through a monitor that is not set up right next to your DVR. Also, you can, if your TV or monitor has internet access, you can just go to a browser and then you can just use the website like I told you earlier to view your cameras that way as well. As always, guys, if you like the video, don't forget to like it. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. And like I said earlier, longer version of this video will be available on my Patreon. As always, I will see you next time.